And hello once again, Sand Shark fans, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Media Day, this time for cross country. I'm Jody Vermilyea, and I am privileged this morning to be joined by the coaches of cross country, our assistant coach, Sarah Turrubiate, I said it right, and our head coach, Bernard Gaither. And we just want to talk a little bit about what's coming up in 2019 and look back to 2018. And let's start there. Let's talk about 2018. What are your takeaways from the 2018 season in cross country? Maybe some players, athletes that stood out, some events that stood out, some memories of 2018. Whoever wants to start. Sarah, you have the microphone. Let's start with you.
Okay. I'll start with cross country, of course. This past year, we, for the men and the women, we ended up coming in fifth on both sides. We lost our tiebreaker to Ave Maria on the men's side. I want to say it's been a rebuilding process for us. We lost a lot of our good runners over the years, and so now we're trying to build that cross-country program back up. And I want to say last year on the men's side, we had Wesley, Cameron, Tedros, and those were some of our really good top three men runners, as well as Justin Delata was in there too. And so returning from that group, we only have two returning from that group. So we brought in some transfers and some new people. But just looking on the past year, on the women's side, it's almost like we have a completely new group from the women's side. So we're in a little bit of a rebuilding year.
Coach Gaither, how about your thoughts?
Yeah, most definitely. 2018 was, like Coach saying, is most definitely a rebuilding year from previous years. We had lost talents such as Betsy Douglas and Jamie Thomas, Joy Millers, and so they have been staples in our program. And so what we're doing is trying to rebuild our program. And so last year was a step towards that. We had a great showing for our Sand Shark Invitational, and so it was the largest Sand Shark Invitation that we had. Coach T was totally in charge of that, and so really setting that up in making sure that we're just building off of the things that Coach Kimball had laid down. He set up that Sand Shark Invitational 13 years ago, right. And so it started here at the USCB campus and then moved out towards Jasper County. And so we just want to continue to take that baton that he passed on to us and continue to do great things. So we're really excited about that. We had over 740 athletes at that event, from D2, some D1, of course the NAIA. So we're always looking to make sure that it's a premier event for cross country in the South. And so we're excited about us returning again this year and having a great Sand Shark Invitational. Like Coach T said, we had some great standouts. Tedros Eckstein really shined last year for us. Also, Jenny Trinidad Torres was a big push for us. She came in dropping from 23 minutes down to 20 minutes and 30 seconds. So she had a huge drop, huge PR. And so we're just looking forward to her both of them continue on in 2019 and continuing to drop time. So, yeah.
So talking about 2019, which is where we are, let's talk about preseason workouts. You guys are in those right now. Anybody standing out? Anybody that you think is going to set their mark in 2019?
Right. So I think that we brought them back a little bit early just so we can get some team bonding and be able to make sure that they're where they need to be with mileage. And I think that's the part that Coach T has just been killing them with, is helping them transition from high school where they might have had lower mileage to the amount of mileage that we need to be able to compete in the 5K and the 8K here at the collegiate level for us, for the NAIA. And so I'll let her talk to you a little bit more about the torture that she's been putting the kids through.
I don't know about torture. So, for instance, yesterday we did a little bit of a long run. So they ran 7 miles, and then the women ran 6.
In 100 and something degree heat index.
Well, yeah. And, we ran a little bit later in the afternoon, so it wasn't so hot. We're trying to right now kind of beat the weather because the last couple of weeks we've gotten caught up with the thunderstorms.
Sure.
So it's almost like they would rather go out and run than get stuck on the inside because the workouts are just as hard if they get stuck inside. So we've been trying to transition them. We have one young man, Patrick Jones. He came from Iowa Central, and it's not this temperature. It's a transition for him.
Probably not this humid either, right? Which is the biggest thing for a lot of athletes. It's so thick out there.
Definitely. And so yesterday, when I was like, all right, guys, we're going to go do this long run. And yesterday when we're getting in the van, he was like, Coach, you didn't say it was going to be this long. This is not what I was looking for. And so, yeah, it's definitely a transition for some of them because they're not used to the area. So you're transitioning them into the university itself, and you're getting them familiar with the campus. The great thing about having them on campus early is they're able to know which way they can run, and they get to see, different staff members and things on campus. But for the most part, with their workouts, we did K repeats earlier in the week, and so it was humid. So the biggest thing that we've really been pushing them is making sure that they're staying hydrated, eating properly, and making sure that they're doing the recovery that they need when they get put through these difficult workouts. Because the biggest thing is that adaptation. We want that adaptation, but if they don't do what they need to do with recovery, then we're not going to get that adaptation. Sure. So, earlier. I want to say when we brought them back, we got their VO2 maxes. So we're working off of those and just making sure that we're seeing where they are. We're doing a lot of testing right now to make sure that, they're hitting certain markers, or what markers are they hitting, so that we can try to get them to the markers that we want them to be at.
Let's talk a little bit about your schedule here in 2019. I know this all culminates with the Sun Conference Championships that we'll host here at USCB. Any meets that are coming up that stand out as particularly important? Well, I mean, they're all important, but anything that stands out as particularly important in terms of what you're looking for out of your athletes? Maybe, they didn't do as well last year. You're trying for improvement in 2019. Anything of that nature on the schedule coming up in 19?
Yeah, most definitely. So we traditionally start off our first meet at CIU. Coach Brooker, he normally knows a great meet up there. So we usually go up to Columbia and kind of start off with a 5K there. And so unfortunately this year, Coach Brooker said that he's just only going to have a high school meet there. And so what we're going to do is change up and go to University of South Carolina for the Carolina Challenge. So that was also a 5K distance, and so we're excited to see how our kids fare against some of the top talent here in the state of South Carolina. So I think that's the great thing, that we love to put our kids in situations to run against the best and see how we measure up. And so it's always a good measuring tool. So we're looking forward to Justin Delata going and breaking a PR in his 5K. So I think that he's come back this year probably in the best shape that he's been as a sand shark. And so we're really excited about the work that he's already put in over the summer and what he's doing so far. Tedros Eckstein, of course, we expect, once again, big things from him this year, so he's looking good. Have a newcomer, Sam Williams, that is a freshman out of South Effingham High School, and so really excited about all the work that he's been putting in and how he's progressing. So on the men's side. And on the women's side, Sarana Harridan has transfer. She's coming along just fine. Jenny's come back. Once again, she's in better shape than she was last year, so really expect her to be down in those 18-19, or that 18-19 range. So we're really pushing her, and I think that's really what she wants. She really wants to be in those teens to break her PR. She PR'd almost every meet last year, and so we want to again continue on with that this year. So like I said, the Carolina Challenge coming up at the end of this month, so August 31st. So it's right around the corner. Really feel like they'll be fit and ready to go for that. And then later on, we'll be heading out to Charlotte. So we love running on that course. And then, like you said, we have our Sand Shark Invitational, and then we'll finish again here in Hardeeville in November 9th for our Sun Conference Championship. And so we expect to do just really great things. So really excited about our schedule this year.
Sounds like an exciting bunch of athletes, an exciting schedule, and we look forward to a big 2019 for cross country. I want to talk a little bit about, shift gears here a little bit, and talk about your coaching philosophies. Coaches in all sports have different philosophies and different ways they approach their sports. How are you guys alike in your coaching style, and how are you different in your coaching style, would you say?
I would say that coach is a compliment for me, the yin and the yang. And so she's most definitely a player's coach. I'm the hard coach. I'm the one that's, I'm gonna get you. Right.
And of course, Sarah transitioned from a student athlete that was a star for cross country and track and field. And now she's the assistant coach, so she's got that inside knowledge that she can pass on and mentor some of these young players that are coming up. So that puts you in a cool position. Also, sorry to interrupt.
No, most definitely, because that is part of it. She knows this university inside and out. She's been here for almost a decade, and so when you start thinking about that, I don't know if I meant to put you out there, coach. But that's the reality of it. And so she's been working here at this institution in various departments. So she knows the ins and outs of USCB, and she's a huge asset to this program. And so she's developed as not just the asset in those pieces, but she just went to New York and got her level 2 certification for USA Track and Field endurance. So as she has grown from an athlete, one of my athletes, to now an assistant coach. I mean, it's been awesome to see that transition. And like I said, I would think one of her biggest attributes is she has the knowledge of the sport, but then also her personable skills of being able to get into kids' lives.
Sure.
I'm most definitely the technician. Okay, this is what we need to be. This is our 30-meter fly times. This is the science behind it. This is the math. The math doesn't lie, and so I can be very hard and rigid in those things. And so it's always very funny. I just sent out a blast to many of my athletes about some things that needed to happen, and so. Sometimes they'll, instead of texting me back, they'll go through Coach T first. They'll go through Mama and say, "Hey, so Dad's tripping." So, but it's just kind of that relationship that we have, that we kind of balance each other out. And so, like I said, I think this is just a great pairing. So I appreciate all she does for the program. So she may think something differently. She may be like, "This is terrible."
She's reaching for the microphone. Let's see.
No, I think it's been really amazing that I've had the opportunity to transition from, a student here at this university and then transition to being a coach here. This is one of, if I could not in 1,000 years have thought that this would happen. It's a dream to be able to coach where you ran, and, so much hard work has happened on this campus. So,
I know.
Man, the many of the courses that we have blazed. So, and it's very interesting to go back to the same workout spots and say, no, I know we went to one of our loops, and, he was marking out different measurements, and I was like, I know it's here. It's by a sign. Will somebody hit the sign? And so, like, my mind was like, no, it's the sign is here. But so it's really funny. I think we work really, really well together. It's a balance out. It's been a lot of closed door meetings, but I think the best thing with us is, we communicate really, really well. So we disagree on things. It's by no means, we're never perfect, but we definitely are able to kind of talk about, because there's certain things that he's very strong and very firm about. And then there's other things where I'm just kind of like, no, I kind of feel this way about it. But we managed to compromise with a lot of different things.
And you're comfortable enough with each other to be able to respectfully disagree or respectfully have a different opinion.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
And that's what makes you a strong coaching pair.
Yes, I feel like, especially with the athletes, a lot of times I'm like, hey, if you don't do this, this is your warning. We've got freshmen that have come in, so it's that transition for them.
Oh, yeah.
And so I want to say they might have been 3, if that, 2 minutes late for practice. And so I said, hey.
Not a big deal to them, but to the coaches, that's huge. Yep.
And so for me, mine's going to be verbal. Hey, this is your warning. You're lucky Coach Gaither's not here. But you definitely I try very hard, because I remember, and I'm not saying Coach doesn't remember either, being an athlete, because, he was a phenomenal athlete, at Towson University. And so he knows the workouts as well. But it's one of those things where being on this campus, I can help a lot of the students maneuver a little bit better. And so it's been great. The university in itself has had a lot of changes, and so it's been really nice to be around for him. It's funny, I was talking about housing and how much housing has grown and changed.
Sure.
And so
Everything has.
it's a lot.
We have a lot of years here between the two of us at USCB.
Yes.
We go back a long way.
Yes.
So yeah, but yeah, I mean, like I said, the coaching styles are most definitely different. I'm a yeller, so coach, you come in here 2 minutes late. Hey, we're gonna go ahead and push some tires. I'm a yeller. I yell when I'm happy. I yell when I'm sad. I yell.
We're going to push some tires.
We're going to push tires. So, hey, we're going to flip some tires. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have to do some corrective action. I think that's just a military background in me, being a military brat. Sure. I can be very, like I said, abrasive to some. And so, but Coach T is able to, kind of balance that out. And so I've never heard her yell.
But that also goes with the philosophy of this whole department, is that you're not just trying to win. We all want to win. That's why we're here.
Right.
But we're also developing focused, accomplished young men and young women who can go out from USCB and take on the world. Maybe not as athletes. Some might make it. Some won't make it. But they'll be successful people.
Most definitely.
And that's, I can see that that's a huge goal of both of you. Not just the athletic side, but the personal side.
Yeah, it was awesome. So, for instance, yesterday, I wasn't able to be at the long runs. And so Coach T handled the long runs yesterday because I went to go support two of our athletes who got baptized. And so our philosophy, our priorities for track and field and cross country is faith, family, education, then track and field, cross country. And so it has to be in that order for us. And so they both got baptized yesterday at Huntington Island. Madison, our team captain, got baptized, and her boyfriend Bryce both got baptized. And so it was great to be able to go and to be able to support them in that. We also had another young lady, Wesley Martin, who's a RA, is also our vaulter, so was out there to support. And so we want to be able to support people because track and field, it can't just be enough. It can't just be enough to run really, really fast. At the end of the day, how do we impact the world? What do we do to leave our mark, and how do we improve the world? And so sometimes we do that through track and field. A lot of times we do that through track and field and cross country, that we can reach out to others. And so we've already went out with the athletic department to PEP. And so we're doing community service.
Sure.
We're going to go to the animal shelter this week and be able to serve. And so just always trying to find opportunities that we can give back, because once again, it can't just be enough for us to be able to run really, really fast. But once again, are we making complete leaders that will do great things in the community after they graduate? We have two athletes that are going to get married. That Demetrius Davis proposed to Jasmine Joseph.
That's happened a couple of times.
And so, yeah.
It has.
So now
Marshall and Serena.
Yes. Yes. So you start looking at, the history of it is like, no, we really truly are a family. And that's that second part of it. And then we focus on our education. We have young men like Carter Freeman had a 4.0 GPA. And so we want those stories to be told just as much as we run personal bests and run really fast times. But we have Sand Sharks that are doing amazing things in the community, and they're doing it in that proper order of their faith first, faith in God, faith in each other, their family, being part of this Sand Shark family, but being able to take care of the extended family, their biological family, and supporting them in that. But then also making sure that everybody's having a great education, and the education should lead to them creating change in their neighborhoods, in their lives. And then once again, of course, cross country and track and field is a priority. And so, yeah, we're going to do great things and represent our program well.
But I think if you do all the things that you just said, the winning and the personal times and all that will take care of itself.
It'll come. Yep.
Well, folks, you can see that our cross country team and our track and field team are in great hands. We encourage all of you to come out to all the events. Check out uscbathletics.com for the schedule. Like us on Facebook. Find us on Twitter. We encourage you to use all those social media venues to reach out. We thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. And until next time on Sand Shark Media Day, I'm Jody Vermilyea, and we'll see you next time. Fins up.
Fins up.